Right. So, as I've said many times, and you are probably sick of hearing, these have been heady times for New Zealand sports fans. This last fortnight, particularly for cricket fans. You've had the women winning the 2020 World Cup, the men winning only their third test in India the week before, and now they've incredibly exceeded that achievement. They've won their, they've won their they've won only their fourth test in India. Quite convincingly, I've got to be said, that it were done within 3 days, and as a result, they've won their first ever series in India. It's not New Zealand cricket, I guess, by nature, by history, hasn't had a lot to shout about. I guess if there was one word that we could describe the New Zealand cricket team, both men and women's inconsistency. And I don't think it's, look, the talent is clearly there, and it certainly might dip and flow like other nations, but we've always had the talent, and, we've always believed that both men and women can deliver this sort of result. And what we saw in Pune over the last couple of days, just shows the amount of talent and ability that is available in New Zealand cricket. And go look at the stats. And but I guess I think people, obviously the cricket experts, the armchair experts now, are kind of talking about the series and what it means. And I think it's not hyperbolic to say that this series win is, by New Zealand, it possibly ranks as the greatest away series win in New Zealand cricket history. I guess, look, it's always, and that's, some will say that's a big call, but I think there are a lot of stats to back that up. I guess, watching it last night, always hark back to the New Zealand and England series back in 1999 when New Zealand won their first ever series in England. They beat them at Lords and the Oval. But I think it has to be said that the England team in 1999 at the time was in to put it politely, in an utter mess. And so I guess in a kind of a way, look, New Zealand, they'd made the Cricket World Cup semi-finals only a month ago. And I guess one could argue they were the favourites in that 3-test series against England. Well, no, it was actually 4 tests. Wasn't it? Yeah, 4 tests. I think that was unusual, of course, at the time. Whereas here, I guess, the results that the Black Caps had in the last couple of months going into this test. You look at the last series before this test, where they got hammered 2-0 by Sri Lanka, and no one gave this New Zealand team a chance against India. India, of course, were targeting their 19th test series win at home on the trot. And, obviously, New Zealand's, as I said, New Zealand had only won 2 tests in India until, the series. It was pretty much, it was just going to be a continuation of things to come. And I guess New Zealand fans were just, New Zealand sports fans were just going to probably focus on the All Blacks or Chris Wood in the Premier League. But look, the first test in Bangalore, look, I guess some might say that was a bit of a, it kind of felt like India probably handed the test to, gifted the test to New Zealand on a plate by, electing to bat on a green surface after so much rain. But in this test in Pune, which, undoubtedly was played in excellent conditions, the class, conditions you'd sort of expect India to do well with their spinners and who they know of. This was a test that India, were expected to win comfortably, bounce back from their first test defeat. But that was not the case at all. New Zealand, in fact, actually got better, and the spinners actually, and just got to talk about Mitchell Santner. Look, he's never really been regarded as our premier test spinner, slow bowler. And, he's on this tour because, let's be honest, you're wasting your time playing quicks in India. But yeah, look, he certainly silenced the doubters with 13 wickets out of 20, an astonishing record. Probably the most successful record. I think AJ didn't he? Yeah, no, only AJ Patel didn't AJ Patel take 20 wickets or something. But in any case, 13 against India in India is just absolutely remarkable, and certainly was one of the reasons. Along, as you'll see, yeah, as you would have seen from the graphic there, Rachin Ravindra's runs, absolutely top scorer. Look, I know. Yeah, some might say, yeah, look, of course, you look at Rachin Ravindra's family background, he's from Bangalore, and even Sachin Tendulkar, the great Sachin Tendulkar acknowledged Karnataka's contribution to world cricket, not just. But yeah, look, New Zealanders topped the runs scored, wickets taken, and India just did not have an answer. Mitchell Santner's spell at the end, just in India's second inning, just was the key. And New Zealand ultimately had a very comfortable win. I think, look, there were a bit of nerves perhaps on Saturday night where the Jadeja and Ashwin have got first-class centuries would snatched us away, but no, it was all over very quickly after tea. So yeah, certainly the greatest result in New Zealand history. I mean, it is tough. Ask Australia, ask England, ask Pakistan. It's tough to win in India, certainly on the subcontinent, and it is easily undisputably. I think you would have 99% of cricket fans saying this is easily New Zealand's greatest result in recent times. And look, I know that people say this India team is kind of fading. You've seen Rohit Sharma's averages, the batting. Virat Kohli isn't the player what he was. Their highest run scorer was the opener, who, he's only 20, but it is still a formidable team when you're playing India at home. It's kind of like and New Zealand sports fans don't know. It's like playing the All Blacks at home, and it is, I guess, funny to talk about. With all the All Blacks losing Argentina this year, Ireland twice in the last couple of years at home. It's funny to just see, these home, perhaps the home advantage isn't what it was because teams are just smarter about it. I think it's just in that era. But look, it is certainly great times in New Zealand cricket, great times in New Zealand sport. I'm especially thinking Liam Lawson, who did race. When I make this video, could have qualified Q3 if his teammate hadn't sabotaged it, and maybe that was the revenge by Yuki Tsunoda towards Liam Lawson for the All Blacks thrashing Japan. But what are your thoughts? Is this New Zealand cricket's greatest ever achievement? And I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, feel free to like it and don't forget to subscribe.